So what's up, guys? I know my videos have been a little irregular lately, but I'm gonna try and get back on a daily vlog grind because I do miss it. So today is actually Monday, even though this video is probably gonna be posted on Wednesday. The shop is still empty. It's so weird to see it all empty like this because of the drift event on Saturday. That went absolutely amazing. So Drew has his car with him back at school for now. Don's driving his down here today, and mine is still stuck in the trailer, which I forgot to bring down today because I was just so out of it. But even though my car isn't here, I got a few things today that I do want to do, and a few people coming down to hang out, so I'm excited. Today a big one is I want to show you guys about extended lower control arms. We're going to really try to get some repairs on Don's kit. At least I think I'm going to try and film some of that, and we'll see what else pops up. Really the main focus right now is I got to clean the shop because it is filthy, and I want to take the time to really clean the floor since there's no cars in here. Well, my Z's in here, but disregard that. So what's up, Don? How's she running after the event?
She's running good, dude. Right at the event, she's running great after the event. Guys, so me and Jimmy are vlogging together today. If you're subscribed to my channel and you're watching this, you're probably wondering, like, Don, what the hell? Like, why? Like, where have you been? This and that. I'm gonna start making videos again soon. I just haven't had the motivation. But yeah, today me and Jimmy are gonna collab together. And I'm just gonna, Jimmy said he's gonna be doing Benny's control arms. I'm gonna be repairing my new kit, which is gonna be a nightmare because I hate working with fiberglass. First, I'm gonna start peeling off these 6 stickers, bruh.
So now that the shop is all swept and clean, I'm gonna go start on these control arms. So a lot of you guys are probably wondering, or probably don't even care, but how we get so much camber out of our front end on the S chassis. Now the S chassis, the Z chassis, at least the Z32, and like the R32 and the R33, I think the front end's the same thing. They all had the same lower control arm essentially. Some a little bit longer than the other, but about essentially they're the same thing. And what we do is we extend them. So we cut them, basically cut the ends off them, put a plate in it, weld them back together, and then that gives you the camber that you want up front. So then when you're at full lock, you have maximal grip. So let's get started. Benny dropped them off the other day. He said he put them underneath the car. Where are they? Aha, in the car, not underneath the car. Alright, so these are S14 lower control arms. Now on here, we have bump stops for your tie rods. So this actually stops your tie rod from going any farther to hit the actual control arm itself. Alright, so I got these bump stops cut off. Now I'm gonna take a flapper wheel and grind them down all nice and smooth.
Alright, so I got the bumper sanded down, both sides. And there's only 2 really bad major areas. And this is one of them, where there's just basically a hole there. And there's this crack right here. And basically I'm just gonna fiberglass mat on the inside. I have resin over there, and we'll use fiberglass body filler on the front.
The bump stops are all flappered away. It took literally forever. Make sure you have a brand new flapper wheel when you do this, or else it's gonna take a whole year. So now we gotta cut them. But in the meantime, Donovan is laying his first set of mat on his fiberglass. He's missing quite a bit in some areas, so he's got a lot of resin to cook up. Oh. But like I was saying before, we're gonna want to cut these after all the mount points on the chassis from the caster arm and the sway bar. So we're gonna want to do it somewhere in between, about here and the ball joint. So let's just split the difference and cut them right here.
So I looked it up, and it said to do about 10 drops per each ounce. I'm gonna maybe do like 2 or 3 flounces. So I'm gonna do 2 or 3 ounces, and it says, yeah, 10 drops per ounce. So about 20-30 drops of the hardener.
Watch John get full Picasso right now.
Alright, I'm gonna lay it down first, and then I'll put the cloth over it. I think dude, this is way too much. I only needed literally like an ounce.
So you could buy a flat stock, bend it to the same shape as the control arms, and weld them all together, or you could save yourself a crap ton of time and go on villains websites and pick up these little extension brackets that you could weld in, and it'll save you so much time and effort, and it'll make your life so much easier. And these are really cheap too. All we have to do now is prep the control arms and weld them in. And there you go. Now when it comes to extending your control arms, you can either extend them around 1 inch or 1.5 inches. In my experience, I've noticed that 1 inch usually gets you about 4 to 5 degrees of camber, where 1.5 inches usually gets you from 7 to 8, which is pretty cool. And if you want to really widen your track width, I'd suggest 1.5 inches because that gives you room to widen your track width and keep some camber. So I do that. But if you have a Z or an S13, S14 control arms are actually 14 mils longer, I believe, than Z and S13 control arms. So just make sure to count for that when you're extending them, because if you extend S14 control arms 40 millimeters and then put them on S13, you're gonna have this stupid camber. So remember.
All right, so we got it laid down. I'm thinking I need to do more than one layer because that stuff got pretty thin as soon as we put the resin on. Fair warning, do not use a foam cup. Do not use a foam cup to mix the resin with, because look, it's double cupped right now, straight lean, and it's melting through the bottom of the first cup and melting the side of the cup. So do not use foam cups.
And always remember to take as much of the rust and paint off as possible so your welds are cleaner. I know if you're like me in the Northeast, you're gonna have a lot of rust on these things. So top is all done. I'm gonna take a wire wheel and brush to the inside, get all that off, and we're gonna send it with some tack welds to get it all set up. All right, well, it's I went to go lay the first tack down for the welds and I'm out of gas. So it just laid the crappiest bead ever, but it's too late to go to get more gas and I am too broke to do it anyways. What's the update on this thing?
Finally getting a manual swap.
About time.
But yeah, it only took 1.5 years.
Yeah, right? It's getting there though. It looks clean. It's nice that primer matches this pretty well so it doesn't stick out. So this was all rusty before, and he actually got a 32 shell from his buddy that got crashed up, and he used the OEM Japanese steel for it. Looks pretty good. So we're gonna send it now to Haggard so I can weld up these control arms, because I really want to do this today because that was a big letdown. So let's go. All right, so I just banged out one control arm. The welder's being a little iffy. It's doing like this weird booger thing where the bead just kind of like falls on its face, but it's working. The welds aren't the prettiest, but it's definitely gonna hold. So I'm probably gonna flapper some away so it doesn't look as bad. Like this one spot ended up being really, really bad. It's having like a grounding issue, so I kind of just pulled the wire and regrounded it, but super high heat, so I know it's going all the way through, and I did welds on the bottom too, just in case. So one arm is fully extended now. Now time to bang out the other one. All tacked in place and ready to weld. All right, welds were much better this time. Heavy penetration and they actually look decent, so I'm stoked.
Donald in the drum.
Damn, DJ. Thing looks so fat from the rear. The LED details look so sick on. Looks like Drew got a new bike. And just like that, the lower control arms are now all finished. And well, I guess at this point I could paint them. I'm gonna let Benny do that. Now at this point, a lot of guys like to box their lower control arms, and essentially just kind of like put a lower brace on it. Some guys think they need it, some guys prefer it not. People say that it makes it weaker when you extend them, and so you want to box it all together. Some guys say when you box them, it makes them too strong, and if you get in an accident, it kind of messes up your whole suspension instead of just collapsing your lower, which would cause less damage in the long run. So as far as that goes, you could decide that factor, but for me, I am very happy without boxing it. It's plenty strong, and I know it works, so awesome. So remember, if you want to make your life a lot easier, if you want to do this, hit on Villain Site. I'll put the link in the description. You can pick up these extension plates. They sell them 1 inch, they sell them 1.5 inches, I believe, and or you can do it yourself, but that's the gist of it. All right, Don laid one sheet of fiberglass on his bumper, and it is actually holding shape really, really well. It's pretty cool how easy that is. I mean, the tape, it even held the shape right here. So he's got to lay probably 1 or 2 more sheets just to make sure it's all nice and strong. Then use fill to get the shape back, and it's as easy as that. Fiberglass is just super tedious, so hopefully get some motivation to finish it.
Oh, I'm gonna finish it tonight.
Good. Let's hear it. That sounds so good for such a slow car.
Hey, it's not that slow.
Layer number 2.
Dude, the brush is like hard. I forgot all about it.
Dropping resin everywhere. Nice. Gotta love that smell. So Cam is buying Mike's wheels, and Mike is buying Drew's wheels, who just bought it from Don, who originally bought it from me.
That works.
Funny how that works. It sucks because look how much, look at, beautiful tire. Too lazy to flip it. Crappy tire. Not bad. Hey DJ, 800 cigarettes. And Don's on to another spot.
They took the keys. That's the problem. I was like, yo, why didn't you just make a copy of these? Like, I wasn't thinking about it. Yeah, dude.
All right, 4 sheets where the hole was.
3 or 4 different times.
3 on this crack, 3 on this crack. This one's a little messy because I didn't have time to cut it before the hardener got hard. But bumper should be all set to put
So I'm really not worried.
filler on in the front and should be all good, right, Jimmy? It's gonna look hot, dude.
Looks good. I wish you never sold them because they fit his car so well, but I guess you had to sell them. But it looks great. So today, Don got some work done on his bumper. I got the lower control arm extended and all that good stuff. So a lot of guys have been complaining about me doing the same content over and over again, and I didn't realize it was a problem because like you guys have liked it, so I thought I could just go with it. But if you guys want to see new, different content, let me know what you want to see. So give me some suggestions because I'm just doing what I'm doing. That's what I'm used to. So I don't really know like what you guys want to see. It's kind of hard. I can't just keep, like, I'd love to do a build and keep it super interesting all the time, but it costs so much money. Like, my budget is so small. Like, I spend every dime I have on just everything around here, and it's so hard to keep up with. If I had even a 20th of TJ Hunt's, you know, budget, I would go crazy, but I have the smallest budget ever. And you guys who've been getting super mad about everything, sorry my content's so boring. So I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good night.